The Warcraft Bible.
Do you ever get that feeling when you're taking a break from World of Warcraft that no matter how long you're gone for, it is almost guaranteed you will return? This is a legitimate question. I can read your mind. Stop lying. Well, because we've all gone through it. Today, my friends, I am going to be discussing 5 reasons why it is virtually impossible to quit World of Warcraft. Thanks for leaving a like, and let's get into it, starting with number 5. How can you stand continually paying for a game every month? Most games you can get for $30 to $50. You have to be like 20 times that invested in WoW. Aren't you getting screwed? The short answer is no more than anyone who has cable TV or has purchased a porno at a hotel, or has any budget set up for any sort of entertainment whatsoever. No, but seriously, to me, it's 50 cents a day, which is less than I put into a pop machine. They're offering a service that I could easily say no to. Nobody is pointing a grenade dildo at my booty and making me give them money. I do it because I've seen what they do with those funds. Besides buying themselves houses made of gold and Armani suits made of orphan skin, they actually spend money to create awesome things that make me relatively happy. Well, maybe not recently. As well as hiring administrators to clean up the imbeciles who make the game unenjoyable. Hint hint, Blizzard, as long as they keep putting out content that's relatively fun, I'll keep paying, because handing over $15 a month for consistently fun content that is always changing and evolving makes much more financial sense to me than paying $60 a month for a game that I might get a few days of enjoyment out of before putting it away and forgetting I ever owned it. Isn't that right, Lego Star Wars? Number 4. This panda thing looks incredibly retarded coming from someone who started in Warlords of Draenor. Does playing it mean that you yourself are in fact retarded? The short answer to this question is yes. No, but seriously again, look, I have to give you this. I have yet to meet a person who actually watched the video and said, "Oh man, pandas are the new playable race? Finally, this is gonna be awesome." I've been told that Blizzard claims that pandas were actually the #1 most requested race by players. I've yet to meet one of those people, as evidenced by my completely normal-sized knuckles, unharmed by the high-speed contact of human skulls. But the truth is, those of us with any sense of self-respect and humility will not ever be playing that thing of a character. No hard feelings, pandas. When we, the community, buy an expansion, we are basically paying for the new dungeons, new areas, and increased level cap. Anyone who buys the game so they can pretend to be Kung Fu Panda isn't old enough to be playing online video games in the first place. Let's be real. Number 3. Isn't it all just repetitive grinding for golden XP? How does that not get tedious? The short answer is no, it doesn't. But seriously, no. I mean, yes, it used to be that way in the beginning, but the game designers learned a pretty powerful lesson in the first couple of years. If you don't continually add things to the game, it gets old, and mofos start leaving for whatever the new thing Game Informer is currently sucking off on its cover, which usually is or was a goth looking character in an emo pose trying to come off as a badass. Or Mario. I digress. The problem with this reputation is that it has been pretty hard to shake. No thanks in part to pretty much every MMO and RPG ever created, and of course Diablo 3, made by the same company, that is actually purposely centered around grinding. WoW has actually put forth a pretty successful campaign to end that style of gaming, for those who choose not to do it. Yes, it's still there, but only for those who get off on that sort of thing. For the rest of the players, they've introduced quite a few other routes to leveling, including killing your friend's stupid faces completely off. Hell, they even have a goddamn Pokemon section of the game now, so if you get bored of leveling your character, you can just name your character Michael Vick and literally have dogfights in public. For that matter, I have friends who log into the game and just buy and sell items in the auction house, playing it like a virtual stock market, no leveling at all, just buying and selling imaginary items for imaginary currency. I don't talk that much to those people anymore, obviously, but they're still demonstrating one of the ways that crazy people can play the game without falling victim to the tedium of kill, loot, kill, loot, kill, loot. The game is what you make of it, I guess. Number 2. Anyone who has played any multiplayer game can confirm that it's full of racist teenagers that have sexed my mother on multiple occasions. And WoW is one of the biggest multiplayer games in the world. Does playing it mean that you are a racist teenager who has sexed my mother on multiple occasions?
Maybe?
Blizzard doesn't pretend that these people do not exist. They acknowledge it and give you plenty of tools to avoid them. If someone is trolling, griefing, or just an insufferable douche by nature, they give you plenty of ways to never have to deal with them again. Just like most other online social settings, you have the option to put these Neanderthals on an ignore list, which not only blocks all communication with them, but also prevents the system from grouping you together when you're using the random dungeon finder or raid finder, which randomly throws you into groups with other players, so you can do the stuff that requires a full group to complete.
Like pretend orgies or whatever.
Most people like to imagine that it shows up to their house and beats them until they're begging for their life in a quivering fetal position in the corner of their bedroom, and then continues to beat them until they're begging for death to escape the soul-crushing pain. But hey, that's just me. I mean them. They hunger for justice sometimes. Jeez, that was a close one. But surprisingly, as the game matured, so did the players. I haven't really ran into many trolls since I've been back, and even when I do, they're just not very good at it. Even if they are, it's a simple matter of right-clicking their name and reporting them for harassment. Unfortunately for society, it's much easier to get rid of a racist teen in a video game than real-life racist plebs stinking up your neighborhood with the ever-present stench of burnt cross and bruised wife. And in number 1, finally the one you've all been waiting for and I hope you've stuck around to see. Haven't hundreds of games come out since then that are newer and better? Why don't you play them? The short answer is, we'll occasionally set aside a Saturday night to beat another game if we get bored. No, seriously, most of the games I've played in the last 8 years are ones that can easily be beaten in literally a weekend. Even games like Skyrim that boasted 300 hours of gameplay had to add an asterisk to that statement, pointing out that the main storyline only takes about 1/10 of that. Right now I have a whole mini bookshelf stocked with games that I've beaten in a couple of days and have never touched again, Skyrim included. Well, that was fun. Someone let me know if they make a huge expansion or something. No, what? Scratch that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm saying that as far as staying power, I've only seen that in a handful of titles, and in my book, World of Warcraft trumps them all. Donald trumps them all. It's not about the game being so good that you can do the same thing for 12 hours a day every single day despite the boredom. It's about mastering the content that they place on your workbench and then being handed a totally new project when the current one starts to feel like an assembly line. They've perfected something that most other games have not, avoiding stagnation, or however that word is pronounced. Bored with questing? Do some PvP and kill your friends. Bored with PvP? Run some dungeons, level your crafting, join some raids, play WoW's version of Pokemon, work on their massive ridiculous list of achievements, or just stand in a city and call people fat with your friends and just watch them flip out. Earn some money in the auction house, do the daily quests that are available only every 24 hours. There are even seasonal holiday quests and festivals, and to top that all off, they add new stuff roughly once every 3 months. Emphasis on the roughly. A lot of emphasis on the roughly, but we're getting there. Right around the time that you get bored with all the other content. Well, that is going to conclude the video for today. I thought I'd get something juicy out for you guys to make up for why I've been away. Legit guys, not even joking, I've been so unbelievably busy with school. It's like they're trying to cram everything in at once.
No sexy intended.
I mean, I'm doing fine and all, but it's getting really annoying. And there's quite a bit of pressure. I'm actually running out of ideas for videos as well. But yeah, who cares about me? If I get to 100,000 subscribers this year, I'll drop out of school. This has been the Warcraft Bible. Stay devoted, guys!
Stay devoted, guys.